Welcome. We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast from Mark Boersma for Dummies. And I don't know, is this messing with you guys' minds as much as it is mine?
I don't know.
Obviously not. Um, I wonder if I can awaken anybody's subconscious to realize that we have a conscious mind and then a subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is things we don't think about, we just do. And so when you look at 11, there's not permanent change. There's not permanent change. So, Christians don't like me. They just don't. I consider what they have to say, but I don't care. And what I mean by that is they're not controlling me. And so there's not permanent life change. So if you ask a pastor, can somebody who's a Christian be lazy? They've never been asked that question before. They just haven't. Nobody's ever asked them that question. And so, like, permanent change means we're growing. Like, this is done in 2026. It's a year of growing, and it's like it's connected back in to what Alan Stein said in the testimony he gave, or his observation after 10 years of knowing me. It took him 10 years to realize, in essence, who I was, which is just phenomenal to me. But do my own brothers and sisters know? Did my parents know? Does my wife and kids know? They kind of do, and they kind of don't like it in a way often. So I know, Anita, you've got to run here. Do you have anything you want to share before you run?
Nope.
Hmm. So, an observation I'm seeing of people more so now than ever before is people want to have their cake and eat it too. Questions on that?
What does that mean?
So they want to go ahead, and it's an English term, and it's like I want to eat my cake, but I still want to have it. Like I want it to be forever. I want the benefits that come with marriage. I just don't want the responsibilities that come with marriage. I want to make money. I just don't want to go ahead, and I don't want to do the work. I don't want to make the sacrifice. I don't want to take the risk. I want my freedom, but I'm not willing to pay the price for my freedom. I want confidence. I just don't want to do what it takes to gain confidence. I want something without having to work for it or to make sacrifices for it or to go ahead and take risks for it. I mean, writing this song is the first song I've ever written. And, like Bricio, he made a great point. He says, like, what if, so this one here, it's written for a man, but can a woman be the same thing? You wanted a wife, you didn't want the man's role. You wanted kids, but not a father's soul. Wanted love, you wouldn't grow. You wanted to be something, but you chose to be nothing. Like, you think about the lyrics on that, and Nora, like, it was so cool. But there's things in TikTok and other places that it's like, if a woman is a girl, then she's married a man. No, if she's a girl, then she wants a father. She wants her husband to be her father. That's what she wants. I mean, she wants all the benefits of a man, but she wants to be cared for. She wants to be protected. She wants to have all of these things, but she doesn't. She doesn't want her husband to challenge her because her dad didn't challenge her. She's never been challenged by a man. And so it's like she wants she wants something, but she's not willing to pay the price for it. She's just like a goofball man, but she doesn't realize it. But she doesn't want a man in her life pointing things out to her, her weaknesses, her hypocrisy, just where she's a goofball, where she's a little girl. She doesn't want any of that. So permanent change, it seems like people get stuck. They get on a plateau. They think they want more in life. They do a little bit more work, a little bit more of this, and they get to that, and then they stop growing. Like I don't understand it. Roseanne, I know you got to go to anything else you have.
No, I think you're on a good point there. I mean, and if you had a father that didn't quite own up to be a father, sometimes you look for that in a husband too. So,
Right. I mean, this is not a black and white thing. like, like there's certain things that I did not get from my mom that I want from my wife. So, Mark, are you saying you're just a little boy? At times, I am. Like at times, I am, and I think that's okay. There's times that my wife, she wants to be a little girl, and at times it's okay. And so, but permanent life change, like, do you really want to change something in your life? I do. I want to change a lot. I don't know what I'm supposed to change, though. I go to church and I don't find it there. I go to people and I don't find it there. I don't, it's like I'm lost, like a ship without a rudder. I don't know. So I hunger for people that are humble, that aren't godlike. They say something and it's like, this is how it is. And it's like, really? Like, yep. I'm not defensive. I'm not angry. I'm not a child. I'm not this. I'm not this. It's like, okay, well, you seem pretty confident about that. I would have a different perspective. People don't like that. They do not like that. Why? Because they're filled with idolatry. And where do they get this from? They get this from, I think, their parents. I think they get this from their friends. I think they get it from going to church, on Sunday. Anybody else have anything else?
This is gonna sound very like Christian-y, like the Christian thing to say, but it came to my mind, so I'll just share it. But it's
Sure.
like I wonder if like some of the times there's like a void in us. Like you were saying, you can't find it, at church. You can't find it with friends or whatever. Like I think part of that might be like it only comes from God, which
I,
sounds
I,
like
I
very
agree.
Christian-y, but I think that's
Yeah. And I don't think that sounds Christian-y at all, which is interesting because I was ready for a Christian-y thing to come out. And it's like it's almost like, and there's some, philosophers, I think from the 1200s or 1700s or something, like there's this, like scientists call it the God particle. There's something like there's something inside of us where we want more. And I don't think that's bad. It's not more money. It's not more prestige. It's not more power. It's not more recognition. It's not more of that. It's just more. And so it's a cool place to be. Like, I don't know. It's a cool place to be. Christians hate that I'm here. Pastors, Baptists especially. I'm more confused about God than I've ever been in my life. I don't understand this whole salvation thing. And, you ask Jesus Christ to, you're a sinner. You believe that, Jesus Christ died on the cross and paid the penalty for your sin, and you ask him into your life to be your Lord and Savior, then you're going to heaven. That's it. That's all you got to do. And Baptist, that's how I was trained. Like, that's what it is. Like Ben, when he went ahead and when we were flying out, so we find out our oldest son committed suicide. Well, we didn't know originally if he did. Like, rifle shot in the head. His brother's in the room. Did he get murdered? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Pretty sure he didn't get murdered, but like there was a lot of questions, and we're flying out. And Ben on the plane, he was 22 at the time, and he leans forward and he says, "Dad, do you think Jonathan's in heaven?" And because we're not Catholic, we don't believe suicide is, an unpardonable sin. So yeah, so I'm like, well, Ben, that's a good question. If what we were taught is true, there's no question in my mind that he's in heaven. He had had a profession of faith. He wanted to share Christ. He wanted to do all these things. So based on what we were taught, he's in heaven. And this is what a dad wants to believe. But I told him, this is hours after we found out he died. And I said, Ben, if what we were taught is true, then there's no question he's in heaven. Absolutely no question. But Ben, I'm not sure if everything we were taught I'm not sure we were taught everything we should have been taught. Baptists don't like that. Man, they hate that. Why? Because it challenges their own perception. Like, I don't know if Jonathan's in heaven. What does that do to a dad? Because there's hard scripture the Baptists and pastors don't like to talk. You're supposed to work out your salvation. What does that mean? I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident that it's not doing good works. That makes no sense at all. Like, why would Jesus have died on the cross if you can work your way to heaven, he wouldn't need to die? That makes no sense. So to me, it's not doing good works to get us to heaven. I don't believe there's anything we can do good works wise. We can't be a good person. Like, I'm pretty confident about that. Not perfect, but pretty confident. So what does it mean? I think it's wrestling like Abraham did with God. Like, it's wrestling. It's wrestling with, I'm not that good of a person. I'm not that smart. I'm not that kind. I'm not that caring. I'm not that spiritual. I'm not that smart. Like, being in the occupation I am, I have worked with a lot of very, very successful people. And I say, it's funny because I think a lot of successful people buy into their own press releases. What does that mean? You put a press release out. And you look good. Like when I read my bio for being a speaker, I read my bio and I'm like, whoa, dang, I want to see that guy speak. I'm impressed with him. That guy's amazing. Holy cow. Oh, it's only Mark. Like, it's fascinating to me that people even want to hear what I have to say. Like it really is. It's just, I don't know, pretty normal, average, below average guy. But can you really be a Christian, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Mormon, Buddhist, atheist, whatever you are, if you're listening to this, you know, you tell me everything you dislike about Christians, and I'll tell you, I'll add to that. I mean, that's why Christians don't like me. So, like, who's the biggest threat to any group of people? So you over-identify with a group of people. You just know it. This is how you do it. Like, if I say something that's challenging to women, like you've got a God complex, and you as a woman get all riled up about that. I can't believe he said that. You over-identify as a woman. Yes, you were conceived. Yes, you were born as a woman, but you over-identify that same thing. Well, men don't over-identify with men. Some of them actually do now. More of them do. The Andrew Tate followers, like, okay, buddy, you guys are strong men. Like, or if you're Baptist, or if you're, or if you're Mormon, or anything, any group you associate with, if somebody criticizes that group and you find yourself bristling and saying, oh, like you say, Mark, you're a Christian white male over 50 and you're a goofball, I would go ahead and say, are you a hugger? I would. I'd say, are you a hugger? Because, see, we don't look at the groups we're a part of and critique them. Why? Because that's when you get put out of a group. That's when you get kicked out of your own dad's church. For what? Because you had questions that the pastors didn't want to hear? Yepper. There's a whole series I did on spiritual abuse. And nobody wants to criticize their group. The leader of the group doesn't want to criticize the group because that's how you lose people. They don't give as much money and they don't invite all their friends. And so groups get together, and whole groups of people, big churches that say God's really blessing. I'm not saying God's not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, is it really God? Like, or do you just understand human behavior, and you know how to move people, to get them, manipulate people, move people, seduce people, get people to feel good. Dopamine hits every Sunday, come back every Sunday for a new dopamine hit. Like, why are pastors so afraid of the truth? Why are they so afraid? Why do they have so much fear? So the permanent change, I wish I could remember everything I've shared in the last 10 podcasts, the stories, because there's so many stories. And you're not going to, remember my rants. You're going to remember the stories. And the stories, like Christians and pastors, they can't explain these stories because it's not supposed to work out like this. Like when you go ahead and trust, like you do what the church tells you to do, Sunday morning, 3 days a week. Sunday morning, you put them in, you memorize, you homeschool, you do all these things, and your kids are supposed to go ahead and they're supposed to turn out right. But when they don't, it's not the system. Of course it's not. It's my issue. And you know what? You're right. I get it. Pastors don't. It's weird. They go ahead and do marriage counseling. And if the couple goes ahead and succeeds, the pastor will often say, well, it's God that did that. But do they really feel it's God, or are they kind of like patting themselves on the back? Like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And do they care when a marriage goes ahead and gets blown to smithereens? I mean, do they care? Do they go ahead and look at their own leadership and say, I mean, Like this couple got married in the church. Do they look at the church and the entire infrastructure of it and say, how did that work? No, they blame. I had one guy going to a new church, and I was talking about small groups, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I do so good in small groups because I ask questions and the small group leader doesn't know how to respond. They're overwhelmed by it. And he said, well, if you have an issue with a small group, it's your issue. Really? Like it's you guys have such a system and your human beings are so good. You just know automatically. You don't even question, is it Mark or is it the small group leader? No, it's Mark. It's always Mark. It's always Mark's fault, which is fine. You know what? It's fine. I get it. Like people that aren't growing, they're dying or dead. Like, how can you go ahead and serve an infinite God and understand him? Good question, right? Like, how can you understand an infinite God? How can you know him? I would think that the more you know about God, the more you don't know about God. Like, I mean, go through the video for crying out loud. Go through this video. The smallest to the biggest, go through this. You need a system as pastors. Go through this and realize you know nothing. You really do. You don't. When you compare it to universe, you know nothing. That would improve your effectiveness. Small church USA, they're out telling, I don't know. I mean, go and ask. I mean, I'd love to do an interview with the founder of it, but is he going to? Maybe not. Like, is he going to do like what they do in the Bible colleges and say what victims, how terrible it is, how tough you have it as a pastor? For crying out loud. Like, are you called to be a pastor? Are you called to be a wuss? Like, really? You think you got it tough? My dad was a pastor. I saw what he had. And I respect him a lot. And he did a lot of good things. He started a number of churches. Most that are still going to this day, even after he passed. So I don't know. Anything else anybody else has?
No.
So, so I don't know. Are you making permanent life change? Do you have these epiphanies, aha moments? Do you go ahead and say, oh my goodness, I was wrong? That's so awesome. I love being wrong. Wow, I never thought of life like that. I never thought of my son or my daughter like that. I never thought of my spouse or my parents like that. I never thought of God like that. I never saw that in people. Do you have a constant where it's supposed to be a renewing of the mind? Like, wow, that's so cool. So, number 12, we're going to be going into one of the things about Mark as a driving force is that he is your best friend if you have a sincere desire to grow. Now we start getting in the meat of this. What is this? 2.5 minutes into it. Like, he's your best friend if you have a sincere desire to grow. People don't get that. They just don't. They don't understand that. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a very good student. Oh yeah, no, I'm open. I want to grow. Oh, absolutely." And just ask all the people around me. They'll tell you, like they want to grow. I want to grow. Okay, good. This is going to be fun. Now is when we get it. You guys think this is amazing? Huh? Like, wait until we get, because this is the best stuff. This is like a masterpiece that Jim is. I'll be forever grateful for him. You guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.